Well, I gotta say, it was much cooler at 6 o'clock this morning when I left to take Mom over for her cataract surgery. It was only in the upper 60s, or on the centigrade scale, about 21 degrees. Now it's low 90s and more in the, which is about 33 or 34 on the centigrade scale. This is definitely better than it was last night when I attempted to do this. I'm actually having to clean up where the still wool got caught in the tacky finish. Everything seemed to go well with her cataract surgery this morning, so that's a good thing. Tomorrow, take her in for a post-op at the doctor's appointment, and then she does the other eye next week. Everything should be fine. It was kind of interesting. They dilated her eye so much you could hardly even see the iris. I had to look really close, and even then it was like a pencil line, but they said that's from the extreme dilation they did. But she seems fine. She feels that she's actually seeing better without the cloud, so that's good. I'm gonna real quick put another coat of the Birchwood Casey Tru-Oil on, and then I'm gonna let it sit. It's nice and hot. Should get a good dry on this. And after that, we'll just wait to do probably one more coat, I think, and then we'll start on the gunstock wax. It does put a nice luster on there. And that's that for now. I'll get back later and give it a quick buff with the still wool, and one more coat I think should do it. And then we'll start putting the wax on just to make it look even better. I looked at these earlier, and there were actually a few bubbles. I rushed a little bit, so now I've got some ripples I've got to try to get out. Still, where those ripples are, still a little early, I think. But it's definitely getting closer. The finish is looking better. Looks like I'm going to have to wait a bit. I'm not going to go too much on it. Just try to get the ripples that I put in it out. I'm gonna let it keep curing a little bit. It's only been about, maybe 2.5 hours. See if I can get another coat on and maybe start on the gunstock wax this evening. Well, I'm not a professional knife or knife handle maker. I have done work with wood, and I feel like I'm rushing this solely for the YouTube. And I'm going to slow down on it, take a little time. I want to give credit where it's due on this project, because I have had a lot of help, either from research online or from the local Ace Hardware. Several forums, bladeforums.com, knifenetwork.com, bladesmithforum.com. All of them I got information from. I did a lot of searches. Some of them I had bad search criteria and wasn't able to find what I was looking for. Others, my search criteria was perfect and I found what I was looking for immediately. But I did get a lot of help from them. Also, at the local Ace Hardware, Joe, the manager, I believe, he was an awesome help on so many aspects of this project. I also need to say thank you to Stephen, David, Ryan, Heather, Dave, Gary, Shaylee, Alexi, and I believe it's Amber Lee. I didn't write her name down. They've all given me assistance, and everyone there is great. If they haven't helped me, they've been able to refer me to who I needed to talk to, and it's definitely been a good experience working with all of them. I'm going to be sharpening this knife. It needs it. I'm also going to sharpen the knife that I used when I was scraping the adhesive on the table and chair legs. And I actually bought a sharpener. Let me get it here. David at Ace recommended this to me. And I've used it, and I've been really happy with the results. I'm going to be using that on this. I'm also, after I do those two knives, this one and the one of Mom's, I'm also going to put a hone on on a set that I bought that are sharp enough. They just need a little hone to make them better. That'll be maybe tomorrow or the next day. We'll see how it all works out. And I'm going to do a little plug thing, but I need to do some prep on it. 1 sec. For starters, I want to say that all the products that I used on this, while I did have recommendations from individuals or from the forums that I found online, none of the products were given to me. I did pay for all of them myself, and I used them based on the recommendations that I got. This product is the one that I wanted to, well, do a little, give them a little push. It's a little expensive. I got this at a convenience store. It had a $19.99 price tag. However, I have had many instances, camping and otherwise, where I've got a cooler that ends up destroying what I put in it. One cool thing about this, made in the USA, here is the instructions. So I'm gonna keep the instructions there. Need these. Well, may have to tap these a little bit, it looks like. This is, it says on the back, ice-olate. It's called the cooler tray. What it is you put your whatever in the cooler, your food, whatever. Food, I guess, is where it makes the biggest difference. If it's just beverages, it doesn't matter so much. You put this in, you put your stuff on it, you put your ice, and when your ice melts, this is just simple thermodynamics. By keeping the cool water in your cooler, it helps maintain the colder temperature for a longer period of time. But by having this tray, what it does is it will make it so your stuff doesn't get damaged from that water being in your cooler. I'm going to grab a hammer, and actually it's got some screws here, so I'm going to grab my drill and a tip, my tips, and then I'm going to get back to finish putting this together. Okay, nobody laugh at my POS hammer here. I actually bought a toolbox from somebody that needed some money one time, and I don't know, I gave him $5 or $10 for a toolbox. This was in it. The only reason I kept it was because I'd done some work for somebody and left my 16-ounce Estwin finish hammer when I did the work, and I wasn't able to find it when I went back. I'm going to tap these in so they're set, and then we'll move on. Okay, now it says we need to connect the trays. I'm going to wipe this since I just got it all dusty here. Place tray B on top of tray A. Edge of tray B should sit flush to center of tray A. Well, this says it's tray B. So I guess I put the legs on last. Well, no, it says legs go on first. So I guess I'm back to the hammer. This is tray B here that I'm putting the legs on. And it's saying it goes on top, but I don't see how that would work. So there's tray B. There is a B right there on the tray. It has these catches here for where tray A goes over it. I do have a cooler right here. I'm going to move the camera and see about sliding this in for the length. Never done this before. I just thought I'd do it now, and shows what I get for not practicing ahead of time. Okay, we got the length and the width. I think I am not going to need the extensions. So let's see what's next on the instructions. Actually, I'm going to get a Sharpie and put a mark right there so that I'll know if this comes apart. I ran off without turning off the camera, so I just did a pause and a start. I just thought about it while I was getting the Sharpie, as a matter of fact. I believe once I put screws in, I'm not going to need to do anything, but let's keep reading. For custom fitting your cooler tray, use 4 set screws included. If 4 of 6 holes on tray A to bind tray A to tray B, and to bind tray to B securely together. I am going to do that because at this point this is the only cooler I've got, and I don't see where taking out some screws would be an issue later down the road. Just out of curiosity, this is tray A that's on the top. I am putting the extender on it, and I'm going to shove it back in the cooler. I don't think it's going to fit. I think that'll be too much, but I can always take it off. Yeah, it's not going to fit. However, there it is in there. The legs are about 2 inches tall, and this will allow for the water to drip through and then the cold to continue to circulate around it. I think it's a great product. Like I said, I think the price is a little bit much on it, but that's just me being a broke, frugal person. But once again, and like I said, I bought all these. Nobody supplied these. I'm just doing this on my own. It's called the cooler tray. It has a picture of the two coolers side by side. Those eggs, when they get wet, create a big problem. There's an image of it assembled. Shows a list of all the cooler brands that this fits. I don't even know what mine is. It's an Igloo, and I think, oh, I took the sticker off. I think it's a 48 quart size, but I'm not positive. It's a smaller one. But I'm really happy with this product. I'm glad I got it. These I don't need, but I probably will still. Me and frugal broke person, I'm gonna hold on to the box, because if I ever get a larger cooler, it'll be nice to have those other parts. I'm gonna work on these handles. Like I said, I'm not gonna rush it. I do need to do at least one more coat. I've got some imperfections. I'm gonna put a lighter coat on the next time, and then I'm gonna start on the gunstock wax over the gunstock finish. But like I said, I don't want to rush this, and I feel like I am just for YouTube, so you're getting a little extra other stuff at the moment. I'll get back to the handles. I will get them finished. Hopefully I'll be sharpening within, hopefully by the weekend. If you like, that's great. You know what to do. Click subscribe or the thumbs up. If you want to share, please feel free to share. I'm not on Facebook, so I can't do it myself. Thank you very much for watching. I do want to do a professional quality job, even if I'm not a professional knife handle or knife maker. I have been in the past a professional finish carpenter, and I like to do a quality job. Thanks again. I just took a break from editing the video tonight, and I went and grabbed a refill, and I just want to point out thecoolertray.com. They do have an address, and they are made in 75 North Main Street, Beaver, Utah, which is the halfway point between Salt Lake and Vegas, if anybody's interested, or roughly. And just because I've got it, I've got to share it. Don't you love beaver too? My tripod seems to be failing. One of the legs doesn't want to stay down. Guess that's what I get for only spending 30 bucks. I'm going to put another coat of the Tru-Oil gunstock finish on this. I did flip these over to work the bottoms because I hadn't done a real good job previously. It says on the instructions you can put it on with a rag or just with a finger. I did it with a paper towel for the first two coats. The second two coats I did with my finger, and it was a little heavy. I think I'm going to go back to the paper towel, but let me get it and we'll get some on there. Use your finger or a cloth. Spread evenly and with the grain. Well, I didn't get it very even. with my finger. Got it way too thick. That's why I had some issues. I'm going back to using paper towel because that seemed to do really well for the first 2 coats that I did. Well, that coat's done. Not for sale in the state of California. Interesting. I'm gonna let this cure, and I may give it a real light brush with the still wool. Probably not until tomorrow. It's getting late, and I like to work when I can see what I'm doing. Even if it wouldn't be too late, it would be too dark later. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. Stay happy.